Hello and welcome back to my channel. Did you ever see the day when you thought the President of the United States would quote known racist on Twitter and then get mad when Twitter puts a violence warning on it? Because that's where we are. We're in 2020 having a president who openly quotes racists and then tries to backtalk it. That's where we are. Now, I'm not going to read his whole tweet. I'm just going to read the important part of his tweet because for those of us who understand our history, knew instantly what he was referring to, knew instantly that it was racist, and knew instantly that it was a dog whistle to his supporters. When the looting starts, the shooting starts, is what the President of the United States said in an early morning tweet. We'll talk about the second tweet in a minute, but I want to get into this tweet. For those of you who don't know, and I'm sure most of you know by now, this tweet was actively used by a Miami police chief known as Headley or Headley. I always read it, so I don't know the exact pronunciation of his name, but he used it in response to the activists in the 60s protesting because there were multiple civil rights violations. That's when the first time that it was used. I also know that he quoted something along the lines of, and I don't have the exact quote because it's been years, but I also know that he said something along the lines of, they pick up a brick, we pick up a bullet. So, that's who our president chose to quote. Other people that have used that are an infamous Alabama racist, because fucking Alabama, man. Fucking Alabama. Alabama racist. And this one I didn't know, but this would be Bill Connor, a public safety officer from Alabama, used it often. Like to quote it and use it often. He was also known for turning dogs and fire hoses on protesters. You know those iconic images that we see of black men and their allies being attacked with fire hoses and dogs down in Alabama when they're fighting for basic human rights and for kids to be able to go to schools that are properly funded, which we still don't have to this day, I can tell you that. That's who Donald Trump chose. To quote. And it's a direct quote. So you know he knew what he was doing. I don't know which one of those jerks he was specifically referencing or honoring when he did that, but he knew, he chose, he made the choice. He typed that out and thought, this is a good idea. My supporters are really gonna like this. Let's go get them, boys. Then he goes so far as to then, the very next day, tweet about a MAGA night. Really, you know what your supporters are. You know that there are racists all up in your ranks. You know you got the Proud Boys. You know you got the Klan. You know you David Duke's boy. And you're quoting that. You're encouraging the violence. You want this. You want this civil disrest. You want this drive. You want a race war. The President of the United States is actively trying to make a race war. Instead of acting like a president, he thinks if people are mad at each other, they won't be mad about the coronavirus. We haven't forgotten. We have not forgotten. Nor will we forget. Nor will we forget that the coronavirus disproportionately affects the black community. So don't think we've forgotten. No, we see you for what you are. The racist piece of garbage that you are. You are, just like every other racist out there that I call them this, you are a piece of human trash. And you actively knew what you were doing. You actively pull this crap all the time and you try to walk it back and think that we don't notice? Oh honey, we noticed. We noticed and we're mad. It is time we vote Donald Trump out. It is time we get rid of the trash that follows him. If you want to be in this country and you want to be like, respect this country and respect this flag, then respect its values. Or at least the values that I consider that it holds, which is freedom for everyone, equality, allowing everyone, and I do mean everyone, to have the same basic human rights, which isn't being murdered in the streets, proper education, proper housing, and fair treatment. Because when you actively call people who protest at a state government with automatic weapons and storm it, heroes and good people, and then get mad when protesters are in the streets getting shot at when they are being peaceful with rubber bullets and mace as thugs, we've got a problem. And again, if you continue to pull this crap where you don't hear them, where you don't understand what they are trying to say, and you try to silence them at every possible turn, you're going to get what you're getting, which is the riots, because the riots are the voice of the unheard man. So, it's time we hold our president accountable and we vote him out. Because we cannot stand another 4 years of an openly racist, dog-whistling piece of garbage that calls himself the President of the United States. We won't survive it. All right, guys. I will see you later.